Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had an amazing week. And for those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live, welcome back. For those of you who are joining for the very first time, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And if you are watching the replay of this on YouTube, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And thank you for those who are starting to join here today. Let me see if your comments are starting to come in. Sometimes these comments come in late, but thank you for joining in. I'm sure you guys are joining in from all over. Hope you've had an amazing week. It's crazy that we're really only a couple months away from the end of this year. For those of you who did not know, yesterday was, and hi, thanks for joining here. Yesterday was World Mental Health Day. So I hope you always do something, but I hope that especially yesterday, October 10th, that you took some time for yourself to celebrate. The goal this year is really to think about the well-being of everyone globally and making it a priority to have positive mental health. And hi, thanks for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. As I mentioned before, we are only a couple of months away from the end of the year, which is insane. But what tends to happen, as you probably already know, is when it comes to the end of the year, all of us, it seems like we start to get more charitable. We start to get more into the giving spirit and into more kindness and all those great things, which are amazing, which are absolutely amazing for us to be doing that. Especially good evening to you as well. Thanks for joining, especially if you are celebrating any holidays at the end of this year, at the end of the year. So it can really be a joyous time, which is great. However, I wanted to share with you all, I saw this really cool article this week. It was on Psychology Today, and it was by Dr. Beth Kurland, and talking about how we can make impact uh, literally by random acts of kindness, because these types of things, you don't have to wait until the holidays, everyone. I'm happy. I'm elated. There's a lot of events that I'm involved with throughout the end of the year, especially when it comes to giving, when it comes to helping families, and I love it and it's amazing. But you all remember that for your own mental health, as well as the person that you are helping, it doesn't just have to be at the holidays. And blessings to you as well. Thanks for joining here from Ohio. Welcome. So I encourage you today to be thinking about what is a random act of kindness, something that does not take a lot of your time, but a random act of kindness that you can show towards someone else. Because what was interesting about this article is they did this research to show that people experience way more joy than you can ever understand sometimes from you. It could be a small act to you, right? And something that you're doing as a random act of kindness, but that person, the recipient of the kind act that you did, is that much more, maybe 2 to 3 times more happy and excited and joyful than you think. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. And the other part of it is that you really never know what people are going through, you all. We all know that. We know that you don't know what someone is going through just by seeing what's happening on social media. That is a highlight reel. It literally tells you nothing unless they're posting every single minute of the day. It really tells you nothing about what is happening with that person. So I urge you today, when you think about, again, yes, heading into the hectic holidays, of course, be kind and all those sorts of things too, but even outside of those times, especially outside of those times, making sure that you are doing something, whether it's paying it forward, whether it's doing, again, a small act of kindness, because it really goes a long way. And what the article also talked about is it's usually things that literally can take you less than 30 seconds. So it's not these big, huge, gigantic gestures that sometimes we think about. It's just the smallest things that we can do to help someone. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Brooklyn's in the house. Welcome. Good day to you as well. Welcome. Thanks for joining. If you're just tuning in here, it's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Mental health moment is all about being the best version of who you are. So we talk about this every single week. Also, the replays of this, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, Dr. Nekeshia Hammond YouTube page, because again, definitely working on getting you information to become the best version of who you are and prioritizing your mental health and your mental wellness. So today's tip again is to think about how can you share some type of random act of kindness to someone else. How can you hopefully make that a habit of yours? Because not only is it helping that person probably way more than you think it does, but also it really can help you in your own mental health as well. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here from DC. Oh, that's really cool from DC. I'm actually in the Virginia area, so close to DC today, but I do reside in Tampa, Florida. For those of Tampa, Florida area, for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment. And good evening from St. Louis. Welcome, welcome. And it's funny, a couple years ago, just one of those days that you're just like so exhausted, so overwhelmed, everything goes wrong, you get a flat tire, something goes wrong at work, something goes wrong at home, like just one of those ridiculous days. So I was having one of those days, and I'll never forget, I was going through the drive-through, and I really, really dislike fast food. But that day, again, crazy day, I was like, you know what? I need to get something quick for my son. So I was going through fast food line, and sure enough, the person in front of me paid for the meal, which was not that expensive. And that's not even the point. It doesn't matter how much it cost. It was like literally a couple of dollars, something quick I was getting for my son. And however, though, I got to the front to pay, and the cashier told me that the person had paid, which was great. It was a nice random act of kindness, right? But also, she gave me this little card that the person in front, that I don't know, it's a stranger, obviously, the person in front had given to her. And on the card, it said, "Jesus loves you." You all, I kid you not. I literally almost broke down crying in that drive-through line, just because I was like, it was literally, again, one of those days. It's like the car has a flat tire, you spill something on you, something goes wrong with a kid at home, like just one of those horrific days. And that meant so much. And again, I don't know who the person was. Obviously, it was just a stranger doing that. But just for them to give that little note, they don't know what's going on in my life. Obviously, just that little kind act to pay for a meal I mean, for me, I was like, oh my God, Jesus loves me. It's going to be okay. Right. Because I was having a moment that day. It was one of those crazy, hectic, or overwhelming days. But it just really meant so much. So again, it doesn't have to be that, but things like that. I mean, I've had that happen in a Starbucks drive-through line too. Someone in front page, and you're just like, man, thank you for being so kind. Like it could be like a cup of tea, like you pay for something, but you never know what that person is going through that day. And that's what I mean. Like, it's so much more meaningful than we know. Like, they're little things, right? It costs a couple dollars maybe for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or whatever it is that you may have paid for someone. But like, for them, if they were having a rough day, there's a lot of things that people are going through. As I mentioned, there's a lot of losses right now. There's a lot with jobs, there's a lot with relationships, there's a lot with friendships. I mean, there's so much that we're all dealing with. So again, you just never know how that simple act can really impact someone. So I encourage you to not only just do this one time, but hopefully make this a practice in your life, because it again, you're spreading joy, which is amazing, to others, but you're also impacting your own mental health. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here from San Francisco's in the house. Welcome back. Tampa's here. Hey, Tampa. Atlanta, Georgia. Glad you came to Atlanta. Yep, I was in Atlanta. Last week. Last week I was there speaking at a conference, which was absolutely amazing. Wonderful blessing. Thank you. Thank you. Someone said they're here from Maryland. Welcome. We got a lot of people from the Maryland and DC area, and I'm in Virginia today. So good deal. Thanks so much for joining here. And if you're just tuning in today, again, today's tip is to really think about, again, we always think around the holidays. I know my calendar is so full with the foundation that that I volunteer with, we're having our Power Thanksgiving event with Ryan Neese Foundation. I know with my church, we got our events for the kids and, kids in need and trying to get presents and all these things for the kid. Like there's so much goodness, which is amazing. There's so much goodness at the end of the year around Thanksgiving. And if you celebrate Christmas or whatever holidays that you may celebrate, but we can't just have that charitable attitude or when natural disasters happen. So as you all probably have heard, wherever you live in the globe, Hurricane Ian struck Florida a couple weeks ago. I'm losing track of time here, but and it was horrific and it was horrible. But during that time, the community rallies together so much, and everybody's like, "How can I help? And what can I do?" And it's a beautiful thing. But if we only didn't wait until the natural disasters, if we only didn't wait until Christmas time, right, to be helping others. So again, I urge you to be thinking about the small things. Like I said, they are so meaningful. And I've shared this. If you're not new to mental health moment, you've heard this before, but for people especially new, I want to remind you, as a psychologist, I've heard literally thousands of stories from people. I'm honored to be able to have heard thousands of stories from people from all different walks of life. And the most, like, just, it gives me chills every time. The most impactful thing that has happened to people literally on the verge of taking their life is that someone has reached out to them in that moment. And in that moment, those individuals said, wait a minute, this person is texting me or this person is calling me and they care about me, which, I mean, literally was saving lives. Like that's how powerful it is, you all, to have just the smallest, again, checking in with someone. If you're buying someone a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or, just however you can help your neighbor, your friend, your family member, or whatever it is, the smallest things are helping people and they really make a difference. So I encourage you. We don't know, as I mentioned, we don't know what's happening in people's lives. We do not know what's happening behind closed doors. And a lot of times in our society, because of the stigma of mental health, unfortunately, it's not, one day I hope it will be, but sometimes it feels like it's not okay to say, you know what, I'm depressed. You know what, I'm anxious. You know what, I'm going through this and that in my life. It's hard, right? There's a stigma attached. So because of all that, I say that to remind you to make sure that you are doing what you can to help people around you. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Welcome, welcome. Someone said they're moving to the Tampa area from Texas. Welcome in advance to the Tampa area. But if you all need me at any time, you can always reach me, drnekeshiahammond.com. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, there are free digital toolkits on there related to mental health, related to wellness, self-care, for parents, for teachers, for youth, right? There's all sorts of different toolkits, digital toolkits on there. So you're welcome to download them. There's no sign up, anything like that. But the resources are there. Also, as I mentioned, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching the replay, make sure to subscribe. And again, I'll be continuing to share content related to mental health and wellness and making sure that you are becoming the best version of who you are. But really and truly, it is a lifelong process, a good process that you have to get into the mindset where you devote your time and energy to making sure that you are becoming the best version of who you are day in, day out. It is a lifetime process. It's something I'm devoted to too. I don't have everything all figured out. I think I'm better, hopefully, than 10 years ago. And hopefully I'll be better 10 years from now. But it is a process. Every one of us are on a wellness journey. It is a process. But you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. So make sure that you take care of yourselves. If you need me, you know where to reach me, or you can reach out on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. You can reach out, connect with me if you have any questions or need me before next Tuesday. But someone says, sending you a thank you from Oakland. Thank you. And New Jersey is in the house. New York is here too. From earlier, Zephyr Hills is here. Welcome. But if you need me, you know where to reach me. And I will see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Have an amazing week. See you all next time. Bye, y'all.